Hey everyone, it's Hailey, and today I'm going to be talking about some ways that I am challenging myself in 2022. So first of all, I'm sorry for being indecisive and jumping between having all my videos on this channel and then having a different channel for things, but I've decided to just do everything here. I'm sorry, my life has been a mess lately. If you've been following along, then you know that I have been all over the place, not really knowing things, but I am doing this video kind of in place of the weekly wellness videos that I started doing at the end of 2021. So I've really been focusing on how can I better myself? How can I treat myself better? And just having these goals that I've been trying to achieve. And one of the things that I've really been trying to do is keep up with some healthy habits that I have always wanted to implement. And I have started a little, I think it's going to be 60 days, but I'm not exactly sure, but kind of like a 10 and 60 challenge. I don't know if it's just where I hang out on the internet, but on my personal Instagram and on TikTok, I definitely have seen a lot of like the 75 hard challenge, 75 soft challenge, and the 50-day challenge, and all of these different challenges that I find those TikToks to be really motivating. I do honestly love watching them. And I would try to do different challenges like this, but one like 75 hard is too much. I think that it is too intensive and unrealistic and not sustainable. And the 50-day challenge to me kind of lacked direction. So I found that in one way or another, the challenges of the challenges were things that weren't going to add value to my life. So I decided to formally make my own challenge, and I have been loving it, honestly. So I have gone through a week of it now, and I know, it's only a week in, but I haven't felt like this motivated or this excited to do something in a really long time. But this has been something that has been working for me so well. And I think a big part of it is because of the things that I've chosen to challenge myself with. What I decided to do was, I've tried to do this before, and either I would be too hard on myself or I would be too easy with myself. I'd be like, oh, I don't want to put too much pressure on myself, so I would kind of be a little bit lax about it. But now I have found kind of that happy medium of challenging myself, but not in a way that is going to be overwhelming. So I've focused on 10 habits or goals that I really want to try and implement into my everyday life for the next 60 days. And there are some that I'm going to be a little bit more strict on than others, but either way, it seems like a lot, like 10 might seem like a lot, but it's really not for me because some of them connect with each other, and all of them are something that I have been doing in some capacity for a while now. But my main problem with wanting to change my life is consistency. I struggle with committing to myself and consistency and getting bored and just relying on motivation. But this has been helping me. Like, obviously I do feel pretty motivated now, but even some days last week I wasn't feeling motivated, but I still did what I had to do because I had like the satisfaction of checking it off my list at the end of the day. I hope that makes sense. Essentially, I have and it seems so corny, but I've been wanting to do so many things to change where I'm at right now, but I haven't been able to commit to that. And I see these quotes all the time, and they mean a lot to me, honestly, which is no one's going to do it for you. I have to do it myself, because I've been kind of sitting around for more than a year waiting for these things to happen to me. I've been trying to make changes, but not really committing to it. So this has really been kind of an eye-opening thing for me. And also, these 10 areas aren't just physical changes. I'm trying to kind of completely overhaul things, which might sound extreme, but it's focusing on mental, physical, and just general well-being. So now I'll share my 10 things with you guys. If you did want to do something like this, maybe it'll inspire you, choose any 10 things that work for you, or even choose 5 things that work for you. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. It's supposed to be something that's challenging enough, but still is enjoyable and something you can feel good about. And it's not like you're dreading every single day. So some of these are harder than others, but like I said, some of them I'm more strict on than others. And that has been what's making it work for me. Like with 75 hard, I feel like you're just kind of setting yourself up for failure. And I don't want to set myself up for failure. So that's why all of these things that I'm trying to do 5 days a week. So pretty much Monday to Friday, I'm trying to do these things. So then I still get 2 days of, not that I'm going to go like wild, but I get 2 days where I can just kind of be a little bit more relaxed about things. So then I'm still achieving my goals, but it's realistic and sustainable. And now is a really good time to start it because I've started a new job. So my schedule is changing, and I would use that normally as like an excuse for putting things on the back burner, but instead I'm making habits and routines while I'm starting this new job. But anyways, I want to get into the things that I'm doing for this challenge. So I've been using a little habit tracking app here, which has really been helping. I'm sure there's more out there. I've also been using Notion a ton to organize myself for this, and I'll maybe go through my Notion page a little bit, but here are the 10 things that I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to wake up at 5 a.m. every morning. So then even though I start work at 9 and finish work at 5, I still will be able to get things done. And I'm also trying to journal twice a day. I have the 5-minute journal, so I'm trying to do that twice a day. I also wanted to, like, one of the things that I like that a lot of these different challenges have is like dedicate yourself to a new habit, or like spend so much time on a new habit. And I love that idea, but at the same time, I really wanted to try and get writing into my routine again and not be so afraid of it. So I have 10 minutes dedicated to writing, whether it's actually writing or if it's reading a book about writing. Like right now I'm reading Save the Cat Writes a Novel, which has been so helpful to me, but I read it for 10 minutes a day, which is super manageable. I get it done before I even get my workout done, and it's something that I can check off my list. The next thing that I do is I try not to use social media for an hour after I wake up and an hour before I go to bed, which has been actually pretty easy. I also try to move my body for an hour a day. So for me, this has been like not easy because some days I don't feel motivated, but I already was going to the gym and doing it for an hour a day. Now it's a little bit different because we're in lockdown again. So I've been going to the downstairs gym and working out for an hour a day. But in previous lockdowns, I would like make a workout plan and then just completely not do it. But now I've actually been doing it and it's been motivating me. But if you don't work out and that's like something that you want to try and implement, you can do half an hour a day or whatever. An hour just works for me. I also am making sure that I'm taking my medication and vitamins every single day. That's something that I would often be very forgetful about. So having it on one of my 10 things has made it so that I'm always doing it. I'm working on drinking 100 ounces of water at least every single day. So I'm trying to do a little bit more. I love drinking water. It's just something that I've always found really hard to keep up with because then I always have to pee all the time, which is like so silly, but I have been doing a lot better with that. I also want to take the dog for a walk every single day, weather permitting though, because it gets really, really cold here. So sometimes it's not like healthy to actually go out and go for a walk, but this would also count toward my hour of movement. If I only did like a half-hour workout, say, then the walk would also count, which is usually like 20 minutes to half an hour. So that's why I'm saying like it seems like a lot, but a lot of the things feed into each other. And my next goal is also part of that because it is to get 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day. So this is something that I'm trying to do even when I don't take the dog for a walk. So I try to be more active throughout the day, especially with having a desk job now. It's really easy to just sit there all day. So I'm trying to negate that by having a step goal. And another thing that I'm trying to follow is the 80-20 rule. So essentially what this means is that I am eating 80% of the time I'm focusing on like healthy foods that fuel my body and make me feel good. And the other 20% of the time, I don't have to focus on that. So this is just kind of a way of like not really tracking things, but also kind of making sure that I'm staying on track and like treating myself right and fueling myself with things that are going to make me feel a lot better. The way that I see it is that you have 7 days a week, you're eating 3 meals every day, not counting snacks, but that's 21 meals. So then 20% of that is 4. So 4 of those meals don't have to be focused on health. And this has been giving me so much freedom because I don't feel like I've like ruined everything if I have one bad thing. Like I'm trying, and not bad thing, I'm trying to get out of like a diet mindset, but this is just something where I can know that I'm doing the best for my body, if that makes sense. And those are my 10 things. So it might seem like a lot and it might seem overwhelming when I just say it like that, but honestly, it hasn't been taking over my life. It's just been something nice to motivate me with things. So as far as my Notion page goes, I have it on my health page, and I have the rules and then my commitment that I've made for myself. I wrote like a written commitment so that I know I'm committed, and then I have a success plan. So for each goal that I have, I then put like a way that I'm going to do it and make sure that I'm doing it. So for example, how am I going to wake up at 5 a.m. every morning? I'm going to try and go to bed early. How am I going to work out every morning? I'm going to lay out my clothes before I go to bed the night before, and I'm also going to make sure that it's like the first thing that I do. How am I going to make sure I'm drinking water? I'm going to fill a giant bottle of water every morning before I even have a coffee, or even do it the night before and put it in the fridge. I really made sure that everything had like a really easy way of implementing it. So then when I'm like, how am I going to do that? It's like an actionable goal more so. I also have been really using habit trackers. As I said, I have one in my phone, but I have multiple places where I'm crossing things off because that just gives me the satisfaction of feeling like I am doing things and getting things done. So I have definitely been utilizing a habit tracker in Notion as well as in my planner. Like I have things written down everywhere because I just get the satisfaction of feeling accomplished when I'm crossing things off. And I think that's part of why this challenge has been working for me, because before I've done challenges and I'm like, cool, but then I get over it really quickly. But this one, I'm actually like, it's more of a quantifiable goal, if that makes sense. And success at the end of it is just going to be me like proving to myself that I can actually commit to something. This is really the challenge, is committing to myself and showing that I can actually do something that I want to do, and that it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be complicated. It's just a matter of like taking the time and fitting those things into my schedule in a way that works for me. That being said, obviously motivation is amazing, but it comes and goes. So I do have a little section in Notion for when it does go, and that is at the bottom of it. I have like quotes that will help me out, like why am I doing this, and all sorts of different reflective things. I'll even have links to like motivating Instagrams or motivating TikToks, like things like that that just keep me on track. So having what is my why and all of these quotes, and even like questions that I want to ask myself all the time, that has been really helpful. Like honestly, a lot of these quotes are probably so corny, but they motivate me. So I've actually been writing them at the top of my planner every day, so then I have a little bit of motivation there. One of the quotes that I really enjoyed is, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment, because that's something that I've really been struggling with, is having that self-discipline, and this is a way to build that up. Another quote that I really enjoy is, you must break the pattern today or else the loop will repeat tomorrow. So like if nothing changes, nothing changes. And that's what I've been stuck in. I haven't realized until making this challenge for myself that nothing's going to change if I keep on just relaxing and being like, okay, whatever, and starting again. I really need to make a challenge that is going to work for me, that I can actually finish, so then I can see what I want to implement into my life and what might not work. And it needs to be something that is going to be like setting me up for success in a way, something that's challenging, but I'm not setting myself up for failure. I also last year read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, which is definitely something that like I have been utilizing a lot in my life. I read it a couple of times, and it kind of talked a little bit about like acting like you're the person that you want to be in the end. So one of the things is like, what would X person do? So what would basically the person that I hope to be do? And whenever I'm feeling kind of down about things, that's the question that I try to ask myself. So I really can turn to this Notion page for anything, and it super helps me out. I've been just using Notion to organize my life all the time, and it has been lovely, honestly. Like I used to use it casually, but now I've actually been really using it. I can maybe take you on a tour of it, but also I'm using a template that someone else made, so I'll link the template that I'm using down below, but I have added like some pages that work for me. I also, in terms of having more healthy snacks and not eating out so much, because eating out is a big issue that my boyfriend and I have had over the past couple of years since the pandemic started, we got in a really bad habit of ordering in all the time, and it's so expensive. That's like the main thing. It's so expensive and it's unnecessary. So I have like quick meal ideas in my Notion. I have what's in the freezer right now. I've been freezing my leftovers, like just so many things that have been helping to keep me successful. And then I also have a little like quick link on that health page that when I'm feeling down, it just links to my journal. So then I can write in my journal page and maybe like work through some things. So I really am trying to work on like all aspects of my life. And I think that this challenge is a really great way of doing it. It's not just focused on physical things, it's focused on like overall well-being. And honestly, it has been really motivating to me to see like last week how easily I was able to do everything. And even this week, like this morning, it's Monday today, it was hard to get up, but I still did it, and I still have gotten all of my goals so far. Like I'm on track with things, which is really awesome. So I'm not kind of letting the fact that a lot of changes have happened in my life take over. I'm focusing on bettering myself, and I just feel a lot better for that. It makes me feel mentally so much better, and it's just been a really good thing for me. So I think the bottom line with this video is I wanted to like let you guys know, because there's so many challenges out there and it can be overwhelming and like feel like there's a lot of pressure. But I think that if you do want to change things and you want to do a challenge for yourself, you need to make something that's going to work for you and isn't going to be like reinventing the wheel for your life. You need to kind of pick something that you were already doing in some capacity, and maybe you just want to implement it more regularly and have a way of tracking it. Then that's a great thing to add to a challenge. And it doesn't have to be health focused. It can just be like a new habit that you want to implement, like going to bed early, which I mean that is health focused, but you know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to do anything with food or exercise. It can just be on mental wellness. I don't know why I can't speak, I'm sorry. But I think that this kind of challenge that I've made for myself has shown me that it's manageable and it is something that I can do. And I think the key is to set yourself up for success, not for failure. Don't try and do someone else's challenge, because while that might work for them, it won't necessarily work for you. Like the 50-day challenge has one of the things as like complete a morning routine. And I'm like, okay, but like, what does that mean? You know, what does it look like? And you could like list what it means, but I think it's more beneficial for me to actually be tracking the things that would be in that morning routine. They also have the challenge of trying something new every like day, and that one I do think is awesome, but it's still like, it's kind of specifying it for something that's going to work for your life. So I hope this video may have helped you. Maybe you found it motivating, maybe you didn't, but I'm super excited to have you guys follow along with this. So that's kind of what the rest of the weekly wellness is going to be, not the rest of it, but the next few ones are going to be focused on. I will be kind of like talking about the challenge a little bit, but also just kind of showing you how things are going and everything. But thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in another one soon. Bye!